What's up, guys? Welcome back to Breakout Trading. Today I'm going to be going over the trade I made today. First, we'll take a look at the SPY. So this was this week. It's Friday today, April the 3rd, 2020. Obviously Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So we started off the week on the SPY on a bit of an uptrend. I think this was the bear flag. And then on Wednesday, we had a huge gap down, big sell-off, and then have recovered the last 2 days of the week. Today, on the SPY, was extremely dead. Horrible day for breakout trading or momentum trading, just overall no volume, not much movement other than sideways and to the downside. So it'll be interesting to see how we either close today. I think going into a Friday, there's going to be a big move in either direction, up or down, and it'll be interesting to see how we open up on Monday. So the only stock that I traded today was CEI. Now the energy sector was moving pretty good today in the morning. Seems like it sort of tapered off. So this was one of the ones on my watch list for the morning. So I'll just get this chart opened up here. Okay, so since I am trying to master my one trading strategy, which is the trade line VWAP cross, I have been only trading that strategy, and today was no different. That was the goal initially, to trade that. What I actually did last night was I drew out a picture of the picture perfect setup for my trade, and I have it on my desk so I can look at the steps necessary to see whether or not the stock is setting up the right way. I have how I want the volume to look, where I want it to pull back to, how I want the trade line and the VWAP to look. And comparing the two, this was a pretty damn accurate representation, so I'll go over what happened. So, in my notebook, writing in the morning what it looks like, I wrote, careful today, it's Friday and market is overdue for a big dump. I was watching ECOR, they had a COVID treatment, a history of multi-day runs. That one didn't do much today. It looks like a bit of a double top. This was ECOR today. So open here, sold off, ran up, huge doji candle, and then has been selling off the rest of the day. So that one was a no trade. I was watching PLIN, Chinese food company that had good news. Let's see how that ended the day. Once again, nothing. All of these today had a huge pop. This is why I hate trading the open, because look where this thing opened. It opened up at like 217, ran all the way to 250, and then just immediately sold off. You do not want to get trapped in one of those that has no... I like to trade the stocks that have a bit of momentum throughout the morning. KAPR had a COVID treatment. Again, same thing. Pop in the morning, huge sell-off. Great for shorts today if you were shorting those. I was watching CEI, which is the one I'll go over. IMAB was a recent IPO. SAEX. Once again, huge pop in the morning, sell off. All these sort of move together, so if one of them fizzles away, then all of them kind of do. That should have also been a red flag for this trade, is that nothing else is pumping today. The markets looked horrible. This was actually a screenshot I had earlier in the morning. So, as you can see, oops. Yeah, nothing was green, nothing's really red, just a flat day, not much volume, not much opportunity. So that brings us to CEI. So as I'm watching all these in the morning, I'm marking off which ones look nice, which one looks strong off the open. So I wrote in at 15 minutes after the market opened, CEI looks strongest out of the gates. I had this big run up, and it actually ended up getting halted, which you can't see on the 3-minute, but right here I had a little bit of a halt here. I hope I can get my annotations back. There we go. Okay, move those again. Yep, so nice big run up halt that kind of tampered on the volume. Reopened, made a bit of a higher high after the halt, and then sold off. So that's where I go ahead and mark my high of the day in the morning. Part of my strategy here that I have drawn out. I wrote my market, today is not a hot day. It's a possible no trade day. It looks like if I make a trade today, it'll be on the energy sector at 7:55 a.m. So around here, I can notice that the only ones pumping were really the energy ones. Of all my pre-market watches, CRC and CEI were the only ones left. I don't think I went over CRC yet. Yeah, this was CRC. So just another huge run up to start the morning, halted on the way up, reopens from halt, makes a wick, and then sells off the rest of the day. Glad I wasn't in that one. Because that's what I'm not looking for the opening run. I'm looking for the multi-day runners, which is what my strategy is for. Or not multi-day, multi-like hour. An all-day runner is what I want to be trading. So that leads us, this is the only one. I said if I take a trade today, I wanted on CEI, so I determined how many shares I wanted. At this point it was about 8 o'clock a.m. so 10 o'clock this time. So it's about right here, and I can see that we're aligning up for the move, the cross. Right, so I'll turn the annotations back on. So here we have, right on the open, I marked the low of the day and the high of the day, and just for confusion's sake I'll remove these two, the low, and this was a pre-market support line, and I'll also remove this one, so that this is what I was seeing in the morning. Had a run up, marked the high, bit of a fly there, then we come down, you see the trade lines coming up. Look at the volume too. We have a bit of increase in volume, but it's red. Warning sign. Plus, look at what this is. A big fake out wick. Went above the high of day, immediately got pushed down. That's not a good sign. That's like a scam wick there. So I should have seen that. I did see that, but I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. And then in my head, I kind of knew that it was a shitty day to trade. But I wanted to stick to my strategy no matter what. Emotions aren't part of my strategy. My strategy is when I see the right setup, I enter in my trade and manage my risk. Because if you trade with your emotions, you're going to be wrong in the long run. So anyways, right here, I see it starting to have the cross, and I decide to enter in. Rookie mistake, because the cross hasn't happened yet. Plus, where's the volume? That's part of my strategy here. It's probably hard to see. I need the volume spike. Where is it? Right here. There's no volume, indicating that there's not many buyers. I should not have entered because there wasn't a cross yet. I was from yesterday, I was trying to compensate because yesterday I lost about 11% because if I entered when it was on VWAP, on APOP, I would have had a much better entry than if I waited for the cross. So I thought today would be similar. I thought the cross would happen and we would break through this high here at 240, and then I could have my stop loss down here at about 212, 210, and that would be my entry. So anyways, I enter in this blue arrow here. Now, if you look on the right screen, you can see that my original fill was for 50 shares. Oh, it's kind of hard to see, the mouse is glitching out, at $2.27. And then I go to put my stop loss, but the thing I forgot is that on my order entry I had it on limit order, not stop order. So obviously when you put a limit sell and you put it below the trading price, it'll immediately sell you at the best available price on the ask. So that's what happened. I was in my great entry, really happy with that. Had my stop loss ready to go for $2.07, but then I immediately got filled for a sell. So right away I'm down the drain, just a small $2 for commissions and a tiny bit of a loss. So I'm like, shit, well I'm gonna miss my entry. So I hop back in. Look at the cross, it still hasn't happened. I jumped the gun. There's no volume. I hop in again for the break, immediately get stopped out. It breaks below the VWAP and the trade line, and then you can see that they are not actually crossed yet. It's really hard to see, but they're just right underneath each other. This is the VWAP, this is the trade line. There was no cross and no volume. I shouldn't have been entering. I jumped the gun. So that's it. I hit my max stop, or my max loss for the day, which is 0.5%, which was today $12.50 plus commissions. There we are at 14. So this is today down 14 on the one trade CEI. And part of my strategy is I don't trade with my emotions, and one of my rules is if I hit my max loss for the day, I'm done. And I had to fight some serious FOMO today, because look what happened. I missed my entry, and then if I was patient for approximately 10 more minutes, here's the actual cross. Here's the trade line crossing above the VWAP, and then look what happens. The volume starts to pour in. Right here is where my entry should have been. Here's the cross. Here's the volume. If I zoom out, a bit easier to see the volume. That was the highest volume after the initial morning surge. Boom. There's your volume spike and your cross, and then this is how it played out. So if I entered in on the cross and the volume spike, like I should have, I probably would have got an entry somewhere around 230. So that's a tiny bit higher than my, it's not even higher than my entry here. It would have been the same, 230. I could have sold on the way up here. Probably would have sold after we broke this high. So anywhere around, 260. So sell into the green volume here. So we would have had a nice little gain of a nice 11 or so % gain. That's a nice easy win, but I jumped the gun, so I didn't get to do it. And I remember watching this too. I remember watching from the sidelines as this thing made an incredible ascending triangle, one of my favorite patterns to trade. Right there, flat top resistance, rising support. We have VWAP, trade line, and a trend line, all right here. Easiest stop of my life at about 210. And then you could have just let this thing ride up. Targets for ascending triangles are the widest part of the triangle. So I have this little tool here, this little line here. So this is the widest part of the triangle here, and then you can put these on top of the flat top. So a target for this one would have been $3. Nice round number, plus I have my Fibonacci from the initial high day to yesterday's close. Another great take profit zone for me is the, can't really see the number right now, but the 1.618. So this $2.93 area is right where I would have been taking profits, and you can see I wasn't the only one thinking that, because it got shut down pretty hard here. So yeah, all the volume worked out. My setup worked itself. If this was a bot trading this, the bot would have done wonderful. I botched the execution. First off, I messed up the initial entry. I got out right away. Wasn't patient for a nice good entry. Hopped right back in because I thought this thing was going to break 240 right away. And yeah, you can see that after that pulse it kind of faded. And then another thing is you can have your stop loss right below this trade line, so I would have gotten out for a win nonetheless, even though this thing kind of came back down. So even though this wasn't a multi-day or a all-day pump, like the setups I'm looking for, this would have been a nice winning trade had I executed properly. So in my journal here, I wrote I jumped the gun, I didn't wait for the cross, didn't pay attention to volume, and I wrote too, I want to hop back in this so badly because I had a really good feeling that it was going to break that 240 level because of the that rising support. Everything was lining up. Here was my entry right here. Look at the volume. Beautiful entry right here for this pop. Wrote in here, so this is my words in my journal. I want to hop in so badly. That's the FOMO talking. Not going to do it at 8:37. So that'll be at 10:37. So right here, right on the nice big pop. I wrote a couple lines of I will not give in to FOMO. I'm in control of my emotions and my decisions, not my FOMO. And it's my fault. I missed the entry. And yeah, so I could have very easily broken my rule of once you hit your max loss, you're done for the day. And I could have been green today, could have made back the money I lost, maybe plus some. But honestly, I think at this point in my trading career, having a clean execution and following my rules is more important right now than being green. I need to follow those to a T because, you know, if you break your rules, you're setting yourself up to blow up your account. You can't trade with emotion. So that's it for the day. Down 14, unfortunately. So I think this week I am down about 30 or 40 total. So we'll hit it hard next week. We'll keep this strategy going. Hopefully we have some big runners like APOP, or no, not APOP. SGBX, that's another thing I want to look at before I sign off, is SGBX. So I lost 15 on that failed trade, but this is how the strategy is going to work, because I'm confident. Is I just need one like this. They happen all the time. A nice big runner. So here we are, March 31st. Perfect execution. Big run up out of the gates. Consolidation. Watch. Watch. Here's your cross. Here's your entry right here. Your entry right here is, here's VWAP, here's trade line. Wait for the pump to stop. Get back in. This would have been an excellent fill at the 460 area. And then you could have used the trade line to manage your risk this whole way up. Look at that. From 460 all the way to almost 980. That is like a 1.8x. Excellent, excellent trade. And if I was trading that with $120, I would have made $96. And that could have made up for 6 losing days if I lose 15. And obviously I don't want any losing days, but they happen, they're inevitable. But one of these can make up for a lot of losing days if you keep your losses small. That's the key. You just have to keep those losses small, and you will prosper in the long run. So anyways, I'm going to sign off now. That's it for the week. See you guys Monday. We're going to keep doing the strategy. I'm going to keep strong, and we're going to tweak it if we need to, but honestly, the strategy works. I just need to nail my execution. Just need to nail that execution. So anyways, peace out. See you Monday. Good luck trading.